Is it going?
Yeah. Why have you got digestives?
The reason I've got digestives in my hands.
Why do you have digestives?
So, am I here?
Yeah.
These these are seriously chocolatey. Hello, everyone, to the Traumarific podcast, episode 3. Hope you're all well. It's been a long time. We not recorded for a week now.
No, we haven't, because we did 2. So we had a little snippet. And now we're here.
Woo!
So hello.
Hello, guys. I hope you enjoyed the first 2 episodes. They've been absolutely cracking.
They've been really, really fun to do as well. They've been really funny to make.
And the feedback's been really nice as well.
Yeah, it's been
and
really cute and wholesome.
Super wholesome, and everyone's kind of there. But if you haven't followed, drop a follow, drop a subscribe, wherever you're listening, whether it's YouTube or whatnot, or Instagram, and you've seen our reels, just drop us a follow, because it really, really helps, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've been really excited by everyone's response, so thank you very, very much. But the reason I have got some digestives is because, my love, it's officially 100 years of the chocolate digestive biscuit this week. And McVitie's, the factory, invited a bunch of people local down.
Are we going to the factory?
I wish we were, it's already happened.
Oh, all right, okay.
But they invited people down to make their own toppings for digestive biscuits, and they had like a big DJ set and stuff on. How cool is that?
What? Why?
So it begs the question, as a quick warmer-upper for this third episode of the podcast, which I'm very, very proud of us for doing.
So we're not going to the factory?
We're not going to the factory, no. But for the third episode, to begin with, what... Oh, and actually, look, the triple choc one. 3. They're all lining up, bro. It's all good. These are new ones. These are Smarties.
We haven't even opened them yet, which is really good for us, because normally we all demolish
They feel melted.
They're really small pack of biscuits as well.
Digestives have definitely got smaller.
They would not last 2 seconds. Well, they have, but I don't know.
They were like frisbees before, like plastic frisbees. They were massive beforehand.
Oh, right. I thought you meant like the packets were...
No, I mean like the actual size of the digestive. These definitely, fun fact, digestives definitely have got smaller, 1,000%. Even in your hand, they feel smaller. That wasn't an innuendo, please stop. But yes, 100 years of the digestive biscuit. First question to start it off is, what's your favourite type of chalky digestive biscuit?
Well, you've just said chalky digestive. Do you mean like biscuit?
Well, do you like the plain? Do you like the... if you've got the variations?
No.
What do you mean? Oh, no. They're the originals.
No.
Can you put them over there, please? No, as in...
So...
Don't eat them.
Biscuits is an interesting topic. I have a very big sweet tooth, as you know.
You do.
So I will eat anything.
Although you are quite more savoury as well than me.
I just like food. But... With biscuits, there's like a tier system. So there's certain terms to certain biscuits. So if I've got a cup of tea, I'm a dunker. I love to dunk a biscuit in a cup of tea. You don't. I don't know how. Although
I do.
I've never seen you dunk a biscuit in a cup of tea in my life.
How are you talking? I don't really drink tea, that's why.
Yeah, I don't know how. I love a cup of tea. But the thing with tea is I will have... A chocolate biscuit is lovely with a cup of tea because it like melts when you dunk it in, and it's just lovely. I'll take a plain digestive if I have to, if that's all that's in the tin or the cupboard or at work. If that's all that's left, I'll have 1 or 2 or 4, 6. But
how many is the most you've had in one sitting?
I'd rather not say.
A full pack? Come on, you've had a full pack. You've definitely had a full pack. Pack and a half?
No, not a pack and a half. That's ridiculous. But yeah, so Dunkables, you want chocolate, if not like a plain one if I have to. I find custard creams are like a good plain biscuit, or like a vanilla biscuit, I guess. Would you class it as a vanilla flavour?
Yeah, it's got vanilla cream in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's vanilla custard.
Custard cream.
Have they actually got custard inside?
I have no idea.
They've got to, right? They're called custard creams. They wouldn't be called custard creams if it wasn't like a custard. Why are they called custard creams? Why are they called custard creams? Well, whilst you Google that, I think that the best version of the chocolate McVitie's digestive biscuit has got to be...
You asked me?
It's what I actually asked you in the question, but it doesn't matter because it's a great little tangent. Have you found out?
Sorry. Custard cream biscuit is named that because of its creamy, custard-flavoured filling sandwich between 2 biscuits. So it is meant to... I don't think it tastes like custard, though.
So it's like custard flavourings, then?
I don't think it tastes like custard, though. It just tastes like cream.
Vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla.
It's just vanilla. Cream, yeah, cream. Because you get ginger creams, don't you? Foxes do ginger creams.
They do, but that's more like a ginger biscuit.
Yeah, but there's stuff inside. Is it cream?
Yeah, that's just cream.
So is the biscuit supposed to be custard flavoured and the cream's in the middle?
I have no idea.
Who knows? Anyway, I think that the best digestive chocolate, wrong way round, chocolate digestive biscuit, definitely is the caramel ones.
No, I don't like the caramel ones. I don't know why.
You don't like the caramel ones?
No, it tastes like fake caramel, which I'm really weird with flavoured stuff. So you love, perfect example, you love like a cherry Coke, you love Dr. Pepper, you love all that stuff. I hate it.
You're a plain gal.
No, I'm not. Piss off. But I like very specific things. What I don't like the flavouring of it. Like I love cherries, like fruit cherries, and I'll have like a Haribo cherry, like the Tanfastic ones, but I won't have like, I hate Dr. Pepper. It's the worst drink, in my opinion. I don't like cherry Coke. I fucking hate Dr. Pepper.
It's definitely not better than cherry Coke. Cherry
Dr.
Coke's
Pepper's
better.
like way down here.
Yeah, Dr. Pepper has this weird... You know, like you get Nestle chocolate.
It's a weird aftertaste. Yes, Nestle chocolate, again, worst chocolate. I hate Nestle chocolate.
But you know, you get like Nestle chocolate and you get Dairy Milk chocolate. That's what I treat Coca-Cola cherry and Dr. Pepper as. For me, I know Dr. Pepper's kind of the OG, isn't it, of the cherry flavour, but it's just not good.
It's just horrible.
It's
but
not,
like,
it's not the same.
With the flavoured stuff.
Sorry for everyone that loves Dr. Pepper.
No, keep it. You can have it. Honestly, gross.
Keep it.
But what were we talking about? What did you ask me originally?
Dr. Pepper.
No. Yeah. So
Biscuits.
flavouring of things. What did you initially say?
Doesn't... What?
How did we get on to that?
I have no idea.
What were we talking
Caramel
about?
biscuits.
Yes, caramel biscuits. So, very specific flavourings of that, because I don't like the Caramac wafers. Yeah. And I don't really like Dairy Milk caramel. There's like very specific things that I like it in. Like I love a millionaire shortbread with caramel. I'll have that. And I'll have... Sorry, the cats are...
We should really be shutting them out.
It's fine. She's found something to nest on. But yeah, flavouring stuff like that is just, it's hit and miss. It's very hit and miss. Like, you know, when you get like certain flavours of like strawberry. Like I got like strawberry laces in the cupboard. You've noticed I opened a pack of them and haven't eaten them because I don't like the flavour of the strawberry because it's really like cheap. It's just like Morrison's Own.
I finished them.
Good, that's perfect.
Oh, do you not like them?
I didn't like them, so...
Oh, I think they're fine.
No, don't like it.
Why not? Well, just the flavouring of the strawberry?
Yeah, just didn't like the flavouring of the strawberry. I was like, I'm not going to have that. But I can't push through with something like that. I won't have it if I don't... But that's what you're here for, because you'll have it.
You'll have
finish
it
off, so...
It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a great little thing. But no, I think that... I just like the caramel ones, but I think it's because I like caramel. And I remember trying it for the first time, like, oh my God, this is the most legendary thing. And then all of a sudden they disappeared out the shops.
Chocolate orange ones?
They've definitely done chocolate orange ones. There was that phase, wasn't there, like 2 years ago where everything was chocolate orange.
I think I've had a chocolate orange digestive.
You could get a chocolate orange
really nice.
Christmas turkey if you wanted to.
Oh no. That's a bit weird.
You can get everything. There was a stage where I remember walking into a shop and there was like a phase of it. They did chocolate orange, which is great. They did mint, which I do love.
Oh, no.
You don't like mint chocolate, but we agreed to disagree because...
I think I had too many after eights as a child.
Oh, I do love after eights. You ever done the after eight challenge?
No.
Well, you put it on your head.
What?
Yeah, you put the after eight on your head.
What do you mean to put the after eight?
You put the after eight on your head and you have to get it down into your mouth by like just moving yourself like that.
Yeah, no,
So I'm not doing that again.
I think having a stroke. Yeah, no, we didn't do that in my household.
Oh, you should do it. We'll do it. We'll do it for the pod one time. Tune in next week, and Carla will have an after eight on her head. Will she get it in her mouth? I paused because I.
Yeah, don't.
Never mind. But what I was going to say, from saying that
after eights,
after eight thoughts that you have after eight. And one of my thoughts after eight is, do you think that... Stay with me. Do you think... I don't know
where this is going.
The 100 men could beat one gorilla?
No, we're not doing this. We're not doing this.
Do you think 100 men could beat one gorilla?
No, because if it's a big gorilla, it's going to kill...
So you know the man... Everything. If you're not from the UK, which you... If you're watching from the US or anywhere else, thank you.
I highly doubt it.
But if you are, hello. But... If you are from the UK, you'll know that there's a new chaser on the Chase. If you don't watch the Chase, then you're not British, are you? And
is this where it's come from?
No. So I watched a TikTok earlier today where he explained the actual mathematical facts about how a gorilla would beat 100 people, and I still don't believe it.
Well, yeah.
Because
I think so.
the theory is...
Just rage quit and just, like...
Yeah, so everyone's like, you could have 100... You don't think a gorilla would run at 100 men charging? Well, it probably would, it'd be terrified. But it's also... If 100 people, men in average, would be like 8 tons or something stupid like that. Whereas like a silverback gorilla weighs like 270 pounds, which is still... That's like a bodybuilder bloke, right?
My mum's always wanted to see gorillas. You know, you can book to go and see them up in a mountain on their own.
That terrifies me.
No, like, I think because it's, I don't know. I suppose it's meant to be better because you're in their environment, so they're like chill and you obviously approach with caution. But yeah, she's always wanted to do that.
How tall do you think gorillas are?
Fucking tall. Have you been to the zoo?
Yeah, I know, but do you know how much they are? Do you know what the tallest gorilla ever? 6'5". That's tall.
That's really tall.
On his back legs.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And that's fighting 100 men. And they're whamming.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would easily win.
Because the whole... Down. Yeah, but...
Down.
I still feel like the men would beat it.
God, no. Talking of which, zoos. So, linking back into the trauma... Zoos. So, linking back to the trauma and the monkey gorilla aspect, I remember once, I don't know if you've got any like zoo related trauma
I have loads,
stories. So I remember we used to go to Whipsnade Zoo religiously, and it is the best zoo. If you haven't been, highly recommend. You get to drive around it, little pit stops in between, no car park walking, it's not a million miles away, it's great. So I remember we went there one time. And it was like after like, it was like the twilight zone of the zoo hours. So it was between like, I don't know, 5 and 6 p.m. So everyone's starting to leave. It's kind of, you know, getting a little bit thin on the floor. There's like even a few other groups of families there. And I don't know if it was my sister or my brother. I don't know if Daniel was there or not. But I remember... It must have been Amy. One of them led me up because there was like the initial, like the massive gorilla enclosures, like the big ones, and then there was like some smaller ones, like that used
gorilla
to be
enclosures,
like little monkeys.
Oh,
like,
monkeys.
You know the one from the museum, like the museum. Little
like
monkeys and stuff.
future monkeys. Yeah.
So there was these smaller like glass enclosures, I guess, like up the middle of like these like pieces in the street, and Amy like led me up one, and she was like, "Oh, look." And I don't even know how old I was. I think I was probably like 8. A lot of trauma happened around this age. I think I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
So I followed her over to this like glass thing where these like monkeys were, these little ones. And she was like, you know, just looking around and stuff. And I walk up to the glass, and all of a sudden, this little monkey, I obviously feel bad for it now because it's in like a glass case, like obviously wasn't happy, but I go toddling up to it, and this monkey literally jumps up in front of the glass, bares its teeth at me, and probably just got like screams at me, and it's like a ah. So I start crying, obviously, and it just made me jump out my like fucking skin, and like my mum came running over because she didn't know what the hell happened. Amy was in bits, but it was absolutely traumatizing, and since then,
have you been scared of chimpanzees?
No. Every time that we go to the zoo, I would not go near like the glass bits with like the smaller ones in. I'll go to like the big enclosures because obviously they've got more space, like whatever. But I never gone near those little ones ever again. They just freak me out.
That's what scares me about, like, you know, when you go to like Bali and stuff like that, and they have those fucking chimps everywhere.
They're really bad over there. They like rob you and everything.
Well, you have to get like jabs, don't you, in case they bite you?
Yeah.
For, like rabies and stuff.
Yeah, they're really bad over there. It's proper rife.
That's one thing I think. If anyone has trauma stories about monkeys, I think that 90% of them are about Bali monkeys.
Probably, yeah.
Like getting in their room and
robbed
stuff.
And attacked and God knows what else.
They nick your stuff. I literally saw some, I think it looked like, they looked European. They were on like a trip to Bali, like a school trip. And like it was one of those foreshadowing videos on, you know, like clips to it, and it was just a girl, and she was like running up, she was like going to touch the like monkey, and all of a sudden, next minute, she was like crying around a corner, and then like the whole video was she got chased by the monkey, went round the corner, and the monkey was just sat round the corner looking round, waiting for her. I was like, fuck that! I don't like monkeys at all.
No, they're not. I don't know, they're just
let them be. Let these animals be, because I feel like people touch them too much, and they do that. Like,
again, their environment's getting encroached on. So I get it, you know.
That's why I don't like.
Moody if you know.
Exactly. That's
tourists everywhere. I get it.
As much as it's probably lovely and peaceful and whatnot to go and see a gorilla like in the Himalayas.
I will get her there one day.
Jungles. It's also like, yeah, I feel bad for them because they are like just trying to chill.
Yeah.
Like imagine if you were just chilling on your stairs and then someone's there behind you going.
That's what the cats feel like. Speaking of zoo animals as well, I wanted to link into something that we spoke to about work today. About work. Spoke about in work is what I meant to say. So, somehow we got into the topic of stuff like children's programs that we used to watch. And someone at the back was basically saying about like Macapaca and In the Night Garden and stuff. I never grew up with that. I didn't watch that. I think that's younger than us.
Yeah, very much younger. That's
2000 onwards, I think that was.
Oh, no, that's more like 2007, I reckon, onwards.
No, I think it was probably
very late on, I think.
I know, but it's like reruns and stuff.
Yeah.
Because someone else watched it and she's a year younger than me.
Oh, okay.
So I think it was just what you maybe grew up with. But it sparks the discussion, like I said, of what people used to watch when they were younger. And there is a brilliant nugget of information.
Oh, no.
That I mentioned about you and something that used to terrify you on a certain kids show.
You told people that?
Yeah. No, but no one
right,
knew.
okay.
No one knew what I was on about. No one remembered it.
What?
Same as what you said.
You're fucking joking.
No one knew what I was on about.
Okay. Well, let me explain to you that horrible scene.
I didn't know what you meant either.
Absolutely ridiculed me for most of my life. Okay, so everyone who I think has watched the Teletubbies from an earlier age, if you're born 1996 like myself, maybe 94, 95, yeah, you've seen the Teletubbies. You watched the Teletubbies, right?
Amy. Yeah, but I don't remember this.
So you would have more. Well, you might have not watched.
I loved the Teletubbies, but I think I was still quite young. I don't really remember too much about it.
There was this episode where everything went really quiet. It literally went deathly silent, and they were like, "Oh no."
It's really horrible. You made me watch the episode.
Yeah, I'll probably clip it in if I can clip it in, and it's not like copyrighted or whatnot. I'll try and clip it in, but if not, I'll put a photo in the lovely here.
Thing in there.
Cheers, future editing James, for putting the photo in there. But there it goes silent. They all go and hide, like all the Teletubbies go and hide, and I'm as a kid going, "What the fuck's going on?" Yeah, I'm going, "What the fuck's going on?" And then like I'm looking, and then it's like, oh, here comes the dancing bear. Now, this fucking bear, right, is terrifying. I remember there's two things. The one thing about trauma, right, good or bad, is you kind of remember where you were when it happened, don't you? You have like a mental screenshot, and I always think of Inside Out when I think of those core memories. There's like a ball.
Just slamming the buttons on the screen.
There's a ball that's come out, and it's just like stuck on the side, right? But I was stood in the front room of my mum and dad's, and I'm stood there watching the TV. You know, like, as a kid, you just stand up and just stare at the telly. I was like, and then I've watched this, and all of a sudden, I let out the most loud scream because that thing right there that I've just put on the screen shakes its eyes around, turns it around, and it's going right. And its eyes are going like this, right? Eyes are wide like that, like it's been on fucking ketamine all night, and it's just going. And it's like, and it's spinning around, and then that's not over. I thought that's over, right? And as a kid, right, my mum's had to turn it off already. Mum's come in the room and gone, "Oh, it's all right," and whatnot. I don't know the full extent of it. My mum will know the full extent, but there was a dancing lion. So the bear had a friend.
Oh, hello.
Oh, we have a friend as well.
We do.
Big up anyone that's listening via audio right now. We've just had one of the cats come in. She'd probably meow, so please excuse her if she does.
Loud.
Yes, then the fucking dancing lion comes in and does the same thing.
It did look really like not okay for kids.
Even when I watched it, right, there was a point when I watched it when I was 12 and I went, ooh. Like I just watched it on YouTube. When YouTube would just come out.
Start twitching.
I started telling people about it and everyone was like...
Nobody remembers it.
No one was like, "I don't know this." And I'm like... "What do you mean you don't know this?" And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, mate." And I'm like, there was this really scary bear and lion on the Teletubbies. I'm not joking, right? Because it told me, and then the episode obviously was like rerun and stuff. And I remember going to my grand's house. What fucking came on? That episode came on. Mum was like, "Oh no, we can't watch that."
We can't have the bear and
we can't. No, we can't have it. You literally couldn't have that. If that episode,
it's like me with the dummy though. Like I could not look at that
exactly
thing
the same.
It just used to absolutely freak me out.
But it's weird how those things. There's that happened, and I had another very weird thing where I'd first watched, I really wanted to watch horror movies. I was massively, like, the thought of watching horror movies as a kid, I think made me, and that's not because, I think my dad's like not really into horror films. Your dad is, but like my dad's not, but he watched a couple, and I remember going, I really want to watch a horror film. But my mum and dad, they're all like over 18 at this point, pretty much, horror films, weren't they?
I mean, my dad used to watch God knows what, like, saw literally through the Richter scale on horror films and just gruesome shit. And he'd have, not only, right, me and Amy would sleep upstairs, or trying to, the surround sound would be up full whack, so
like
the whole
THX thing was
literally like an over the hedge when he turns on the fucking TV and it's like takes his hair off and the spikes are against the wall. It was like that. And me and Amy were there like, you know, in The Simpsons where like Lisa can't sleep, she's there like, Dad, and she's like shivering under the blankets. We could literally hear people getting sliced up and shot through the fucking.
It felt like it was like a slaughterhouse downstairs.
Were in, like some kind of sensory thing, and it was just like a horror film you were in yourself. Or God forbid you had to go downstairs and get a glass of squash, because you'd literally have to like
hold your eyes.
You'd literally we'd knock on the door. I wouldn't hear us because the TV was so fucking loud. God knows why it's deaf now. But you'd literally knock on like the living room door, and you literally like 2D insert yourself through the little hole between the door, and then could be like, Dad, like, you know, I'm here, kind of thing. Because he would not like observe at all. He wouldn't even know we were there half the time. But then if you like caught a glimpse of like someone getting slashed or stabbed or whatever,
it would scar you for life.
Okay, it wouldn't pause it though. It just like, oh yeah, just don't look.
Fucking hell, mate.
And you just have to look like that and like past the telly and like make it, and then just go back upstairs. And I'm like, okay, great.
My dad, I think, was more just because if like the content was too gruesome, he would have been like, you know, if you see it, it's at your own risk. But if you're probably gonna.
So character development.
But he wasn't really massively into horror films. But then we had a few on DVD, and by horror films, I know you're gonna roll your eyes at this when I say this, but just play along with it. So, Scary Movie, right?
It's not a horror film.
Right. Yeah, but
it's not.
When you are 10 years old, right, and you don't know what Scary Movie is. So I'm 10 years old. I've not listened to the Scary. I'm a massive fan of that franchise now. The Waylands did an incredible. I know you hate parody movies, but like I think you came of a time where parody movies were shit. They were. But
they just annoy me.
When I was 15, parody movies were like the shit. Like epic movie, disaster movie. The one where Drake Bell was like some superhero. I forgot what he's called now. That's really annoying, mate. Anyway, and then all of the Scary Movie films, right? Which at the time there was 4 or 5 by the time I'd left school, I think. Anyway, so Scary Movie 3. I don't like Donald Trump. Scary Movie. Scary Movie 3. We had on DVD, and that is the one where The Ring is in it. So it's based off The Ring, right? And at the time, I was really weird as a kid. I used to love horror films, but I couldn't watch them. So I had the internet, so I could Google them and stuff. And I got obsessed with wanting to watch horror films, and I love zombies and stuff like that. I was just a boy, and like I wanted to watch stuff, but my mum was like, you can go and watch it, I'll stay downstairs. She put it on in her room, and I'm sat there in bed, on the bed. I sat on the bed, right? And the first scene of that film, right, is the opening scene to The Ring. Please do not ruin this, for the love of God.
Stop it.
And so, she's throwing me off. So I'm sat on the bed, and the opening scene to The Ring happens, which is where they receive this tape.
I know.
They watch the tape.
Yeah.
The well's there. Yeah. The kids, the girl crawls out of the TV, right? And she goes, Sydney, this bitch is messing up my carpet. And then, like, it's funny, but at the time, because I'm so engrossed in the Ring bit as a kid, I've ignored the humour of her saying, like, this really sassy comment, right? And she's punching the Ring girl. I'm still like, oh my fucking God, this girl's come out of the TV. I'm shitting myself, right? And then the girl dies, right? But they flip her head round, and like it's a prosthetic head with her mouth open, and her head rolls off, and it turns into the Scary Movie 3 sign, I think, or something like that. But anyway, that scene where the prosthetic head turns around, literally, I went white, and I screamed and went, nope, no, and turned it off and couldn't watch it for years. And then I literally watched it again. And I remember looking back and thinking, again, like I did with the bear and the lion, I went, I know why it was fucking like it, but yeah, it was awful. Sorry, rambled then, but
no, like I used to get it where like every Sunday, Dad would always take me and Amy we'd do something with him. So like we'd always go on like the little steam trains down. I don't know if you remember by Sainsbury's, but we'd always go there.
Steam trains?
Yeah, they used to have like a little, you could sit on them and then they went around a little track. They used to be really, really fun.
They should do more of those.
I mean, they were like tiny chairs for like 8 to 10-year-olds, but they were really fun.
Still fit in them.
We probably could, to be fair. And we'd go to Blockbuster religiously because again, he would hire out his like horror films and stuff. Me and Amy would get like a Disney film or whatever. And again, Dad being Dad, it'd take us up the aisles with him because obviously he wouldn't like leave us in the middle of the shop or like by the door or whatever because in case we wandered off. So we'd go up the aisles with him, and I remember like trying not to look at like the film cases for like the horror section. And I remember like certain ones stuck with me, and obviously now I've like grown up. I love Halloween. I love horror films. We watch them like most of the time.
Yeah.
And I remember like when we first watched Chucky. That was hilarious to me because I remember for years when we used to go into Blockbuster and he'd be like picking things up, you'd see all of like the Child's Play things, and obviously on the front cover there'd be this really messed up doll, and I'd think, oh God, because my thing with the dummy from Great Yarmouth, it kind of was a bit like, oh, that's really similar, I don't like that. Or I remember the case for... Oh God, what was it? I think the Saw cases used to freak me out. There was one called Hostel.
Yeah, Hostel was a gruesome
film. That had
film.
like a limb and it was just really red. So that used to get me. But there was certain ones that would stick in my head and be like, oh God, no, I don't want to look at the cases. Whereas now it's like, it's obviously just a case, it's just a fucking picture. But when you're younger, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like that imagery just like sticks.
We're back after
an interlude.
An interlude.
Get rid of the cat.
To get rid of the cats.
She was annoying us.
Yeah.
She was annoying you.
Well, she was just scratching and whatnot, and we don't want that in the podcast. No. She's good in the background, but she's a bit... She's on heat, so please bear with us. But we have got a lovely new sector. 2 new sectors, actually, on this show.
Yeah.
But the first new sector that we will start right now at the halfway mark. God, look at us. Look at us. It's all that gorilla talk. That's what it was. I think you're going to laugh at that. Anyway, Wheel of Trauma.
Wheel of Trauma.
Can you sound more enthusiastic, please?
No.
Oh.
Spin the wheel.
Okay.
What's on the wheel?
Okay, so the Wheel of Trauma is an idea of mine that I put forward for the podcast to get... Because I know that we have particular conversation starters that we like to do for these podcasts, or particular elements that we like to put in per podcast. But I feel like to really shake it up a bit, we randomise it for one segment of the one segment of the show.
Yeah.
Right? So the Wheel of Trauma has... Okay. My stomach just rumbled. It's ready. We have the worst fear. Now, the worst fear... If you land on the worst fear, it is ultimately your worst fear. What do you fear the most in this world?
That's quite deep.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay.
The next one is work.
Oh, that's
work,
good.
Work is, of course,
work-related
trauma, right?
That's good.
The one that got away. The one that got away sounds deep, but actually what I mean by that is one where you dig deep into the back of your brain and you think, oh God, what's a bit of trauma that I haven't thought about in a good while that's actually quite funny as a story topic? Okay, so that's a bit more of a thinker. Okay. We've got tearjerker, and by tearjerker, I mean you're going to make me laugh so much that I'm going to cry.
Okay, that's
not you're going to make me cry my eyes out.
Horrible.
No, of course, it's trauma related. We've got to keep it in that role.
Okay.
Sports related is the next one.
Oh God.
So anything sports, it could be sports day at school. It can be anything to do with that.
Okay, yeah.
It could be if you played football, if you did horse riding, you know.
Yeah.
Right? Food. Now, we did food last week.
Covered food.
We have done food. But, again, I'll go through what the rules are afterwards. So, food is on there. So, any more food-related stories, do a brief one if you need to. It's fine. Or if it's different, just switch up, you know. Childhood story. Again, another one we've done.
Oh, there's so many, though.
But there's so many.
There's too many.
And then, finally, my personal favourite, Shut Up and Drive, which is a driving transport related trauma story.
You are in all of them because you No.
Carla doesn't realise that my driving is safe and sound, and I do drive.
Awful. We nearly crashed twice the other day.
By
Twice.
Okay, right.
Because
Picture
of your
this.
attention span, okay?
Picture this, right? Ignore the mic for now. Actually, can you hold my mic for me?
No.
Please.
No.
Please.
No.
Please. No. Okay, so I'm driving the car like this, right?
I need to get so close.
No, I'm not looking at the windscreen. driving
Am I the windscreen?
No, I'm driving the car, okay? And Carla's talking to me. We're having a really in-depth conversation.
As we do.
As we do. And then, pull it closer. So we're doing that, not that so close, in my mouth.
What?
And I happen to see a turning a little bit too late. So Carla has to go, James,
we're going
turning
down
here.
there.
So I
slam on the brakes, skeet round the corner, and nearly kill us.
But did anyone get hurt?
Very nearly, yes.
Who?
It was a very busy road.
Who got hurt?
We could have got hurt. We could have died. So that's.
I think I turned at a very nice.
No.
Love you.
No. So that's the first one. The second one, he nearly went to the back of the car because he wasn't paying attention.
No, right. I rely on my brakes. Right. There's people that brake 2 years before they need to brake.
Look, I know you didn't look because you jolted when you looked up in the car.
We're not going to argue on the podcast here. It was fine, but it's. Yeah, Carla doesn't like my driving, and I think there's at least one.
Is nil. You have the attention span of a gnat. It just goes, oh, look at this. Oh,
but I get us there in one piece.
Look at this.
But I get us there in one piece.
Just about. Anyway, spin the wheel. Spin
Gripping
the
onto the
wheel.
chair. Okay, right. So I'm going to spin the wheel, and then we're going to do one topic each. So you're going to spin the wheel. Sorry, the one thing I will say about this, which because we got directed onto your anger of my driving,
yes.
Is that once we've done one of these topics,
they get swapped out.
They get swapped out. So once one is, they get replaced with a new topic, which we'll explain every week that we do. The wheel of
trauma.
Woo! Everyone round of applause.
Spin.
Okay.
Childhood
story. Woo!
Okay, so there's a certain film in my childhood that shouldn't be scary, but it freaked me out quite a bit because of a certain toy that my brother had and terrified me with.
Not the ET story.
So the ET story has come out. It's taken 3 episodes to get here.
Impressive.
This is my most renowned story that I have told everybody, and it is a corker. So I think, one of my earliest memories, like one of the very first films I remember watching was E.T. And I remember watching it for all the wrong reasons. I remember rooting for the scientists in that film because I wanted him to die. He scared me so much. I freaked out.
It's a very common fear.
I just did not like him. Like, I don't know what it was about the film or the actions, but I couldn't. No, not a fan at all.
Not a fan of E.T.
And what made it worse was, like, whenever it came on, obviously it became a thing in our house, and my dad would go, oh my god, E.T.'s on, do you want to watch it? And I would literally, like, no, I'd take myself off. I would not sit and watch it. I think I've only ever watched it all the way through once or twice.
And that was the first time you watched it?
Yeah, because I've either turned it off and walked away, or
It's
I've just got out of
boring
the room.
film as well, though.
Oh no, I just don't like the little fucker.
He looks like a sack, doesn't he?
I just don't know what it is. I just don't like him.
Is it his neck?
I don't know. It's just everything. Everything makes me uncomfortable. So what made it worse was the initial phobia of ET begins. Okay, it's manifested. It started. It's happened. Okay. I think my brother for Christmas. It must have been for Christmas his birthday's on Christmas Eve, bless him. So for birthday or Christmas, he got a certain toy. And there was a E.T. toy that used to like light up and talk and like move and interact and everything.
Terrifying.
We'll put a picture of it here. Okay. So he got this toy and he's a bit of a trickster. He used to do certain things, hide certain things, play a few tricks as an older brother does. And this one, I only found out till recently that I wasn't crazy. And that it was absolutely justified. So, imagine, I think I was around about 8, the golden age for trauma, apparently, in my life. So, I think I was like 6, 7, 8, somewhere around that age. And this toy, I noticed, starts popping up in certain areas of the house. So I remember one night I was asleep. Me and Amy had bunk beds, and I think I was at the bottom at some point. And I remember waking up and this ET toy was in the hallway in the middle of the night. No one else was awake, no one else was around. And I remember like waking up because it was making its noises and it was talking or doing what it normally did. I remember just like, don't. I remember just like looking under my TV like, oh, what is that? And just literally just freezing like, how is that in here? What does it want? What's going to happen?
Did you think
to
it was
me?
real, or did you know it was a toy?
No, I genuinely thought it was like possessed or something. Because at one point, I remember me and Amy either swapped beds because my initial reaction was, if I'm on the top bunk, it can get her first if it comes back in. I
love that theory so much. That's your theory with everything. If anything comes into the house, it's, if I'm the furthest away, then I'm going to die second.
Literally, I'm safe. That's all I care about. No offence. So, like, you sleep near the door here because it's going to get you first, whatever it is.
Any respect. It's literally that. They're going to get me first.
It's a survival.
E.T.
So, yeah, this toy kept, like, propping up, and there was a few times where I'd, like, wake up and it would be in the hallway, or I'd go outside and it'd be in the garden, or it would be, like, I'd be coming in from the garden, it would be in the conservatory. No one else would be around. No one else would see this happen, okay? Very important to note.
It's genius by Daniel, to be fair.
I thought for literally years that I'd either imagined it or I was just like on cloud 9 as like an 8-year-old and I was just seeing shit, or it was possessed. So I repressed this, and I ended up having a major freak out. I think it was when I saw it in the hallway in the night. I went to my mum and dad's room and was adamant I've seen ET on the landing, was my words.
Like fucking Chicken Little.
It was on the landing, literally, but like the sky is falling. So I remember like going into my mum and dad being like, I've just seen ET on the landing.
They're like, you fucking what?
I've just seen ET in the landing. Like, you need to get rid of it. I can't sleep in there. And I was really upset, and I literally had like a full blown freak out in the middle of the night. The morning rings by, and I remember saying to Dad, like, you need to get rid of him, like put him in the shed or something. I made him put him in the garden shed and padlock the shed door, and he had to stay up there until obviously at some point he must have thrown it away. But I always used to, because there was a little like crack in the window, like where the curtain was pulled through, and I could see the box through the window, and I would go up there and check that it had not moved and they were still in the fucking box in the shed. So years go by since this has happened, and literally like last year you were there when I asked the question, and I said to Mum and Dad, because I think the film was on at Christmas.
E.T. was on at Christmas, yeah.
And my dad turned around being who he is, and he was like, oh yeah, should we put E.T. on? And I was like, oh yeah, I swear I used to like see it in the house, and I swear I used to think that it was like moving or something. And they both were like, looked at each other and then kind of like smiled a bit. And Mum was like, oh yeah, that was brilliant. I'm like, what? And she's like, oh yeah, did you not know? I'm like, no, what do you mean? And she was like, oh yeah, Dan used to just hide him around the house, like we all knew. I'm like, oh great, so that was just a fun exercise for everyone to fucking abuse my little mental capacity. I honestly thought I was batshit crazy, or I was just imagining it, like, because my imagination at that age obviously is quite overactive.
Massive, yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was like fake for ages, but it actually happened.
I still think the fact that you burst into their room like at midnight.
I've just seen ET on the landing.
I've seen ET on the landing. The fuck's he doing there?
Yeah, that's my childhood story.
Are you still traumatised by E.T.?
Yeah, I can't watch E.T. I hate E.T.
It's a weird film. He's a weird guy.
I don't know what it was. It was just the actual like
figure.
Thing.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
So honestly, I know a lot of people that are scared of E.T.
It's a real phobia.
It's a real phobia. E.T.ophobia. That's what we'll call it. You've got E.T.ophobia.
I have E.T.ophobia.
E.T.ophobia. Well, that was a really good story to have, your little first wheel.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Spin the wheel.
Spin the wheel. That's your phone. Where's my phone? Let's get the wheel up, bro. Wheel it up, wheel it up, wheel it up, wheel it up, wheel it up.
Ta-da! What'd you get?
Boys and girls, I got Shut Up and Drive, didn't I? I got Shut Up and Drive. Well,
of course, naturally.
I'd like to tell a story. I'd like to tell a bizarre story.
Right.
That's very traumatic, whereby God, no. Sorry. I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my own story. Anyway, so anyone that lives sort of Midlands in the UK, you might have been to Welly Market, big at Wellsbourne Market. It's cracking, right? And the way there is a lot of back roads, probably from pretty much wherever you live, right? So I'm going down the country roads of the UK. I'm not driving. It's actually my mum that's driving. I was probably about 12. And we're driving, normal day. La, 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 la. Happy family, happy family. All of a sudden, front of the whole car gets wiped out. Right?
You've been in a lot of car accidents.
I have. As a kid, I have, right? But this fucking dog, like a Great Dane, runs across this country field. It's ran out of the farm that's down the road, across the fucking thing. We hit it at like 50 miles per hour. It was fine.
It's like a devil dog.
Yeah, but the car wasn't. The car had been fucking written off. Mum was fuming, right? Car's all written off. We have to... Mum's obviously shaking up. I'm shaking up. I'm like, what the hell's going on in the back? And then, like, we didn't... it's just a flash. And then we find out there's a nearby farm. So we happen to drive to that farm and go, oh, excuse me, our car's fucked. What do we do? And they're like, oh, that's our dog. Yeah, we've been looking for him. Like, he's out and stuff. Next minute, right? 2 months later, they claim it's got a punctured bloody lung, right? It was fucking fine. It's been stuck there. It's come out and it's okay. It's written off the car. It's a big lad. And they're trying to claim insurance of the fact it had a punctured lung. Now, I know for a fact the reason why I'm saying this story is because it wasn't... I think it ended up being all sorted and whatnot. I think it was ended up being fine. But, like, ever since then... And genuinely ever since then, I've been terrified about things running across the road, which is why I always tell you to slow down on roads. Because the thought of... There was another story, a quick one, where there was a guy I used to work with, and he was like, I'm not coming to work today because my car's been written off. And we're like, oh, are you okay? Like, is everything okay? He'd hit a deer, it had gone into the grill of his car and writ off his whole car.
Oh, God.
I was like, fuck. Like, that's bad. Yeah, exactly. Bad. Obviously, God bless the deer and stuff, but like...
God bless the deer.
God bless the deer. But also, like, it's just wrecked. Like, they write off cars.
It's like in Australia, wombats are like little landmines. They just like fuck the whole thing.
I love wombats. So I can imagine if you say landmines. Imagine like
they're so dense. They just like completely like
kill kangaroos as well,
anything.
though. So.
Yeah, because they're so bulky and they're just fucking there all the time.
But that's what makes me sad because obviously, like, they don't mean it, but then they.
Well, it's like the last time we came back from. Then you went in the car with me. So last time, like, I was driving from Northampton to here. It's about half an hour, but because of where we live, it's like back roads, like lanes
country
and stuff.
Road.
And it happened one time with you last year. I don't know if you remember, but we were driving back, and there was like, obviously it's spring. There's baby animals everywhere. There's little tiny baby rabbits in the bushes of. In the bushes of like
like about 2 months
the
ago,
verges of the road, right? There's all these little baby rabbits, and we're like, oh my God, that's so cute. Oh, look at them, look at them. It very quickly turns to, oh fuck, get out the way, go in the bushes, because they were just darting across the road.
It was so funny.
And they'd just kind of look, and you'd be like, are they going to go? They're not going to go? Because they looked like they were going to run, and then they'd just sit there, or they'd just go into the hedge. I'm like, please go back in the hedge. The hedge is safe.
I'd be sat there, like, I was sat there looking at all these rabbits, and she was just going...
I was like, oh,
Don't get the right. It
was horrible. It was like a ticking time bomb.
It was the worst.
Like, please stay where you are.
For that, Jesus Christ. But that was our episode of the Wheel of Trauma.
Yeah.
First episode of the Wheel of Trauma, which is great for the pod. I think like the more different niche conversations we get, it brings up different depths of things, because even like those stories, like from that, I would have put them to the back of my mind. So bringing them forward and
if anyone else is scared of ET, can you let me know that I'm not?
Yeah, you big up the people that are scared of ET, because he is horrible. But also, if you've got a genuine fear of ET, do write into us.
We can make a support group.
Yeah, ET support group. Extra trauma, extraterrestrial trauma, ETT.
No.
Yeah.
No. Leave it out. And if anyone else remembers the bear and the lion from Teletubbies, let us know, because I've
But
never
don't send me
met-
photos of it, please, for the love of God.
Send them all the pictures.
No, please don't.
I don't know anyone else that actually remembers that still. I like anyone that I've
There will be
brought
people
up
out
the
there.
story to, and I've said, oh, you know, James has this fear of the light. They're like, what?
I
don't know
am
what
the
you mean.
bear. Oh, God. The dancing bear. Oh, it's even the voice, because it's so like, oh, I am the dancing bear. Like, and I am the lion. There's a lion over there.
Leave her
Offset, we've got
alone.
Bicky, bless her, the big ginger one. But no, I have one final thought for you. Mm-hmm. One final thought for you, because we will wrap up this podcast in about
Just a min.
just a min. We'll call it a min. As our final little topic to graze onto, what would you say is the most traumatic thing that happened that you could mention within PE in school?
Stuff don't really happen to me in PE. I have a very funny story that happened to someone else in PE.
Can you say it on the pod?
Yeah. I won't use like anyone's name or anything, but like I was always quite reserved in PE. I didn't really enjoy PE. I wasn't, you know, I'd turn up and I'd do the absolute bare minimum. So we'd always play like a very like UK secondary school thing is, if you're a girl, rounders. Every
All the
fucking
time.
week.
Love
Rounders this week, girls. Oh, we're doing rounders. Oh, we're doing rounders again. It was literally constant. I fucking hated rounders.
Rounders was great though.
I hated it. So I would be one of the fielders that would be way back, and I would just stand there and
Hell
chat to
yeah.
someone. I would never run. I would never actually catch a ball. I don't think I ever caught a ball in school, like at all.
Caught me, bro.
I didn't know you were in school.
Oh, that would have been a bit weird, to be fair, because you were really
Yeah,
young. So.
no.
Ignore.
Anyway, so I didn't ever catch like a ball. I didn't ever like hit a ball or anything. I think like I literally was just there to watch and observe, and then like just kind of I'm joining in, but not really. So we were playing rounders one day, and I was way back chatting to someone like fielding as I normally would, and someone else fielding in the middle bit, just in front of where I was, pretty next to a base. Someone batting was real good, so they whacked it and it went up, and it literally
Like the Wii
went
Sports thing.
woo, straight on this girl's head. It bounced, and it literally
Like the doink noise.
yeah, it literally smacked this poor girl right on top of her head.
Oh, dome.
And like
Jesus.
really, really hard.
Fuck. Was she
and then
okay?
obviously, well, it's that thing of like, do you want to like burst into tears and make a thing of it, or do you just kind of
Pass
brush
it
it
off,
off
go,
like,
"Nah,
yeah,
nah.
I'm fine.
It's all right."
She brushed it off like a champ, bless her. I don't remember there being much reaction, but I remember thinking, fuck, that must have fucking hurt.
She had a big egg on her head.
Huh?
She had a big egg on her head afterwards.
What?
An egg?
What do you mean an egg?
You never heard the term have an egg on your head?
If it's an egg, yeah.
Yeah. What?
Do you mean
You've never
someone threw
heard
an egg at
the
her?
British term an egg? No. What?
What was someone throw an egg at her?
They don't throw the egg at them.
It's rounder.
Are you doing this for a bit, or are you actually?
I don't know what you mean.
You have a lump on your head. You have an egg on your head.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of that term before.
No, I just say you've got a lump in your head, or you've
got an
got
egg
a
on your head.
bruise. I've never heard of that. I've
Anyway.
never heard of that. Egg on your head.
Anyway.
It doesn't look like an egg, though. It looks like a little lump.
An egg. It's like an oval shape. It's not like Tom and Jerry, where the big giant thing used to come out. Like, it's, that was my impression of Tom. You know when he gets hit.
That wasn't very good.
It is. You know when he gets like his tail set on fire and he goes.
It sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Anyway,
But yeah, it wasn't ever like directly me. I'm trying to think of stuff now.
I actually used to be really purposely bad at PE because I wanted to be in the lower set group with all of the special kids.
James, you can't.
Well, I did
Why?
because I hated. So basically, in my school, there was very good rugby players that now play for teams and are really, really good. I hated rugby as a kid because I was fat, nerdy, and I was basically the prime target to be absolutely wiped out. Right? Probably still am. When it comes to rugby, I hated it. Football, lived and breathed it, fine, right? But we barely played football, which used to piss me off.
Yeah, again, I think rugby was your rounders.
Yeah.
It was always like the
Used
boys
to
are playing rugby, the girls playing rounders.
It was the area that I was in terms of school. It was a heavy rugby populated school because of like the
I lived in rugby, so
Lived in rugby. Yeah, it was heavily... The top set boys was rugby, and it was full contact rugby. It wasn't tag. If it was tag, I would have been fine. So I purposely was bad. I used to basically just either do notes forge notes.
Just bad.
But then I looked like Usain Bolt when it came to like doing the fucking... When we used to do track... When we did track and field and we did like the sprinting and I was doing 100 metres and I'm leaving people behind, I looked like an athlete in that group. I was incredible. They looked up to me.
Aren't dwarves built for like short?
I'm not a dwarf.
You know in Lord of the Rings where Gimli's like, we're made for short distances.
Well, I did the long distance because I did that 12-minute Cooper run thing.
There was... So in... I know we said we're wrapping this up, but... Lies.
We'll wrap it up soon.
But yeah, speaking of sports days, I used to religiously, like primary school sports days, I used to always do the sack run. Love the sack run. I used to always do the relay race. That was a constant up to secondary school because it's short distance. I could do short distance, could never do long distance. And in primary school, you've heard this from me yourself. I was tasked with learning how to skip. And I didn't know how to skip. I wasn't very good at skipping, but I had to do the skipping in the segment of my house's little relay thing. And I could never get the hang of it. My mum got me skipping rope. She couldn't fucking teach me to save a life, bless her. So I ended up literally just chucking it over my head and walking over it and chucking it over my head and walking over it until the agonising end where everyone, even my mum was probably like, oh my fucking God, can I leave her here? Everyone was just like... Is it still going on? The other person had finished and I was still just walking forward. It was the saddest thing ever. But then like in secondary school, I remember there was a day that I think I was sick. So I wasn't in.
Yeah.
And this was the very, very, very vital day that they were dishing out who was going to do what on sports day. And I got volunteered because I wasn't in to do the fucking, what was it? The 2,100 metre run, like the four.
Are you Mo Farah? I didn't do 2,100 metres. I did 400 at most.
No, what's like the top one that you used to do? There was like the
800?
actual... No, it
1,200?
had
'Twas 1,200
Yeah,
meters.
the 1,200, that's what it was.
I was going to say, fucking hell, all right, Mo.
So we had that, and then it would go down to like obviously your relay and then your 100 metres and stuff. So I got volunteered to do that horrific, abysmal activity because I wasn't there, so I had to get a say in it. Tried to get out of it, tried so hard to get out of it, couldn't. And not only that, I was also volunteered for the high jump. I'm 5'3". I haven't been able to jump once in my life, and the long jump as well. So that was a great day. I think I cried twice because there was no point in me doing anything. I lost like everything. And obviously like my school was quite competitive. And if you weren't pulling your weight in like sports and stuff, you were not a very...
And you're a competitive person as well.
I'm a very competitive person. I get very pissed off myself if I can't do something.
Even if you're not good at something,
exactly.
It's still annoying.
I get really frustrated, and I think I just ended up getting really like overwhelmed and upset. I think I was in, was it secondary school? Yeah, it was, I think year 7 or year 8. So I was like going through the ringer that year. That was not a good year. And moral of the story is always be in when they dish up jobs because you will get left with the shit ones.
And always be in the middle set.
Why?
Less stress.
What do you mean?
Look like an athlete.
You don't.
Yeah, you do.
What?
Said less stress and you look like an athlete because middle set.
How would you look like an athlete?
Because you're better than the rest of them.
How are you better than the rest of them?
Because, well, I was anyway. So that brings me on to, so last week we mentioned that if you follow us on socials, and if you don't, then why are you not following us on the damn socials? Follow us. Tell them.
Follow us.
Follow us. No. Follow us. Anyway, you want to follow us on the damn socials because that's where we do most of our updates weekly, in amongst the clips and the podcasts that you see. And like we said, we're trying to do these bi-weekly. So if we do get a little bit more improvement on engagement, maybe we'll do weekly. Who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. I bet we'll do weekly.
No,
just convince her.
We'll
just
see.
send Carla messages
We'll
to say please weekly.
We'll see.
We'll do them. Don't worry, I'll pay her. It's fine.
We'll see.
Anyway, so when it comes to PE and it comes to that particular trauma, we actually had a story come in about this. Now, What I would like you guys to do is send in your trauma to us on sendtrauma@gmail.com. Funny trauma, not deep trauma. You know.
Just little light-hearted stories like what we've done. Or stuff that...
Sorry, did I interrupt you there? Sorry.
Huh?
Did I interrupt you there?
No, it doesn't matter.
Sorry. Send in your trauma because we want to hear it and we want to laugh with you, not at you. And that's our main little motto. So when it comes to traumarific stories and PE, we actually had a viewer send in their traumatic story. This comes from anonymous viewer.
Anonymous viewer.
Of course, because all of these are anonymous. Unless you do want us to just tell us your name. Obviously, I'll bleep it out anyway, because I'm not going to do that to you, don't worry. But in school, they thought it was stupid at the time.
I don't think it was stupid. I think it was horrible.
I think it was horrible too.
I think it was a very horrible thing, but...
After PE, the person in question had a shower. Now... I don't know any schools that have showers.
No, we had shower cubicles, but no one ever used them. I feel like because my high school, like, you know, they have like a sports hall that they hire out for football or for badminton.
They had to have it.
People would come in and out and like use it outside of school hours, so I think that's why. But no one would ever use them.
But even then, I think it's like almost like a necessary thing. Maybe it's in like rules and regulations. They have to have that for like hygiene, right?
Yeah, maybe.
But so anyway, this person has gone for a shower after their PE lesson, and because they were really sweaty, of course. And everyone in that class, or a few number of bullies within that class, took his clothes and his towel.
Yeah, that's not okay.
And he had to sit in the changing room.
Changing room?
Sorry, what's my vocal doing today?
Sit in the changing room.
Sit in the changing room. He had to sit in the changing room until his teacher walked in on him. Butt naked. Cold and wet.
Naked and exposed.
Naked and afraid.
Naked and afraid. That's what.
That's a Law and Order Special Victims Unit style thing.
Literally, yeah. That's where it starts. In the shower room.
Now, hilarious as that does sound to people, it might have been the way that I worded it, but actually, that's quite sad.
It's just a horrible thing to do. It's a very like American bully thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it from. I'd expect it from British kids that have watched too much American stuff, right?
Very like American-y. Oh yeah, we're gonna bully us, take his clothes, like, you know what I mean?
I can take his clothes, Jared.
Locker room. But yeah, I don't know anyone else that's happened to, because again, we didn't actually use the showers, or like, I don't know.
I was too scared to take my shirt off in the changing rooms because I was too fat.
That's so sad. That's really sad.
It wasn't. It's actually quite embarrassing, to be fair, but I wasn't actually that fat. I think I was just scared. I was also scared. I mean, I'll probably go in this too long to go in this dinner episode, but I had inverted nipples. But that was that was why. That's actually why I was scared to take them off, because everyone would have been like, "What the hell are those?" But that's for the next episode. So if you want to tune in and wonder why I had expression had, I don't have any more. Can confirm. Can you confirm?
I don't really pay that much attention to you.
Well, if you want
invert their nipple?
If you want to know how my nipples got inverted in the first place, you tune in for next week for a wonderful episode of the Traumarific podcast. Have you got anything last to say before we head off?
I don't think so. I've got my own microphone. Stop doing that.
Sorry.
I don't think so, no.
I think I'm irritating her. Anyone and everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. When this comes out, it would have been the bank holiday weekend, so I hope you had a lovely bank holiday weekend. Hope you had lots of drinks, lots of sun, lots of no one taking your clothes in the PE changing rooms.
Yeah, lots of not watching ET.
Yeah, or if you do want to join the extraterrestrial trauma group, hit up Carla Roach, because she will get to you as soon as possible. We love you lots. We hope you have a lovely rest of your day.